All right, I am going to gab about one of my favorite voicings that I think a lot of people love this one. And even at face value, it's an amazing chord voicing that I love to use. But I'm going to show you so many different possible ways that you can use it without even thinking about inversions. But here's the chord. G, A, D, F sharp. This is the top four strings, G on the D string, A on the G string, D on the B string, F sharp on the E string. Frets 5, 2, 3, 2. Pinky, first finger bars 3 strings, and then middle plays the B string 3rd fret. I can also do that here with 2 fingers. Pinky on G, and then my first finger bar in the 7th frets. G, A, D, F sharp. Those are usually the 2 places I use it. You could technically do it on the low string set, but requires some gymnastics or even a kind of half bar. I've never used that shape. It'd be too hard to grab, and it's a little too dense as far as the voicing. But anyways, why do I love this voicing? Well, there's a couple things about it. Important note, I don't want to forget, this is a D major triad, the top 3 strings, and G is the bass. So you can think of this as a D over G chord. D major over G, which is triad over bass, which gives you that specific sound, etc. That's kind of again, one of the first places we can look to just identify what's going on and how to describe this. We have a D major triad over a G bass note. The intervallic structure is really pretty. And what I mean by that is between the first 2 notes, there's a major second. So I'm going to kind of build this with my fingers. We got a major second at the bottom. So some chunk, I wouldn't say too much, not too much of a rub, not dissonant, but there's some closeness there. There's like a little competition. Then there's some space, because from the A to the D, the middle 2 notes, it's a 4th. Perfect 4th. So we got a major second and a perfect 4th. So now we got a major second, perfect 4th. We jump up, and then we have a major 3rd up top, D to F sharp. And that's, kind of a very, very nice, comfortable interval, especially up top. It sounds very familiar. I just think the combination between all of them is lovely. And then you look at other combinations. From the G to the D, that's a perfect 5th. G to F sharp is a major 7, so you get that. Got a nice major 7 type interval with a 5th in there. Between the A to F sharp, there's a 6, a major 6. I just love that interval in general. So you get different combinations of different intervals, all with just 4 notes. So how can I think about this as far as a harmonic basis? Like when am I going to use this, and in what context? So the first one that you're probably going to think is, well, the lowest notes are root. That's fair. G is the root. G, A, D, F sharp. That tells us we have a 1, a 2, a 5, and a major 7. If G is our root. So first thing off the bat, we don't have a 3rd. We don't have a B or a B flat. So technically, we have a chord that has a major 7, but no 3rd. So it could technically be minor. Now, it doesn't give it that minor quality, but I could play G minor over this, or G melodic minor, or G harmonic minor to account for the major 7 F sharp, and that would be cool. I'll make a quick loop. Sorry, that was way too loud. Here's G major. G major scale. There's the major 3rd. G harmonic minor. Kind of interesting colors it for sure, but it doesn't, I don't hate that, but I think in most contexts, you might think of this as like a major 7 voicing, because you got the 1, the 9, the 5, and the major 7. So G major 7, that definitely makes a lot of sense. What I want to show you is how by changing the underlying harmony, by giving it different bass notes underneath, we can actually completely change how we view and play this voicing and what we can play over it and what it's going to be implying. So it's kind of like a kaleidoscope, right? You take one object, this voicing, it's the same object, and then you start twisting it and turning it and get all these different refractions of color and light that are going to be wildly different from each other using that same, empirical object. So the test I like to do with any voicing is, well, let's just put every freaking note possible underneath it and see if they make sense or if I can make sense out of them. So that's G. Well, let's try G sharp. Interesting. I got a major 7, flat 9, sharp 11, and the flat 7. So major 7, flat 9, and flat 7, and sharp 11. That's a lot of conflict there. And while I could maybe figure out eventually some sort of sound that would work nicely over that, I'm not going to use this one for now. So I'm going to say, okay, that one might be too much to reconcile the differences there between what's working and what's not working. So let's move on. A. Again, I'm playing the same voicing, putting different bass notes underneath. Oh, that sounds pretty good. Okay. So now in the context of A, if A is my root, I've got a flat 7 G, the root, a 4, and a 6. So for me, I would consider this more like an A 13 sus chord. Got the flat 7, the 11, which is the sus part, and then the 13 F sharp. The reason why I use the extensions is because the flat 7 forces us to bump those numbers up. So using 6 and 4 wouldn't make sense, because if I said, okay, this is an A 7 with a 4 and a 6, that just doesn't hold sand. So A13 sus. That's totally fair game. So this sound with A in the bass, that's gonna put me in the D major category. This is now like a 5 sus in my current view of it, at least. Again, there could be multiple ways you could spin all of these, but I'm just going to give you the ones that come to mind and the places in which I would use it. So now this is a 5 sus chord. So I'm going to play D major stuff, basically, over it. I can play D major. Or, yeah, if you're a mode person, then you might think E Dorian would maybe be a little more appropriate to capture that sound, but D major. Even if I play the C sharp, that's a nice conflict there. Color. So that's a really nice color. Keep going. Put the whole thing over B flat. Now, don't try this at home, folks. Whoops. That's. And this is where I get so excited. So this whole thing over B flat. What happens there? Okay. We have a major 6. B flat to G is a major 6. B flat to A. B flat to A is a major 7. B flat to D is a major 3rd. Also, I said something wrong. Sorry. No, No, yeah, no, I'm good. Okay. Oh yeah, G is the 6. A is the major 7. D is the 3rd of B flat. F sharp is the sharp 5 or the flat 6. Again, the way I'm spelling these as far as sharps and flats, that might not be congruent with technical theory, but this is just where my head goes, so deal with it. But again, objectively, this is a major 6, this is the major 7, this is the major 3rd, and this is the sharp 5. So I've got a major 7 chord with a 13 and a sharp 5. Lovely, lovely, lovely color. Lovely. And that's totally fair game. A B flat major 7 sharp 5. Now, what does that imply? What the heck can I play over that? Well, major 7 sharp 5 exists in at least 2 different parent scales. So this is going to be the 3 chord of G harmonic minor and G melodic minor. So now I'm back in that G minor territory. So I'm going to play those sounds. Here's G harmonic minor. G melodic minor. Sorry. There's only one note difference. That would be E flat versus an E natural. Yeah. That's the E natural. So that's super freaking lovely. G melodic minor, I think, works particularly well over that sound. And I'm still not even to go into all the possibilities of what even G melodic minor could be, because this whole sound could be, you could think of it as a C7 or an F sharp 7. There's a lot of places to go, but I'm not even, that's another layer that I could just spend on that whole thing. But I'm going to keep going. B natural. B natural underneath this is just fantastic. It's one of those chords whenever I pick up the guitar, I just tend to play it. Old habits die hard. I just feel comfy. And this is now going to give us, in relation to B, a flat 6, flat 7, flat 3, and 5. This is really the best representation of natural minor. Minor scale with a flat 6 and a flat 7. So you could call this B minor flat 6. B minor 7 flat 6, or B minor, B minor 7 flat 6. You wouldn't say sharp 5 because there is a 5. So sharp 5 tells us there's no 5, but there is a 5, so it goes to flat 6. Which really, if I'm talking B natural minor, that again gets us into D major. So there's that. So I'm going to think D major, B natural minor. I also tend to just personally think of this chord as a G major chord, right? It's an inversion. So G major, that G major 9 chord that we first started with, over B. So I could think G major or D major. Let's see what sounds good or whatnot. Okay, here's D major over it. Oh, I gotta make the loop. D major. sharp becomes a C natural. There's only one little change here. Here's the C sharp. Here's the C. C is interesting. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So if I was going to think of a G chord, this might be more of a Lydian vibe, because G major 7 is the 4 chord of D major, and that would include the sharp 11 C sharp. So I'm still going to play D major, but now in my head it's like a G Lydian chord, G major 7 sharp 11. That works freaking great. Okay, keep going. Over C. This is nice. We got a 5th, major 5th, major 6, 9, sharp 11. Okay, so there's no 3rd, but we have a 9, sharp 11, and 6. So that tells us those are extensions that are more easily going to fit in the mold of a major sound, so some sort of C major. Now there's no 7, so I could technically make it a dominant 7 or a major 7. So let's see the difference. I'm going to do C. I'll play C major, a C Lydian, over it, C Lydian, coming from the key of G major. And then I'm going to switch to C Lydian dominant, which comes from G melodic minor. Okay, here's the major. Oops, left an artifact in there. So, okay, right, C Lydian. Okay, that's cool. And then I'm gonna do C Lydian dominant. I like that. And remember, that is coming from G melodic minor. Again, we've seen that before. That's super nice, so that could be a dominant chord. I think I like that one better. Keep going. D flat. Ooh. So this one has a lot of tension, and nothing seems resolved, but I like it. I like it quite a lot. I'll tell you why. There's a tritone off the top, and then there's a flat 6, minor 6, and then there's a flat 9, and then there's a 4th, but up an octave, so whatever the hell that is. So, and all the notes could fit in the bucket of D major. C sharp, G, A, D, F sharp. Those are all notes in D major. So I could play D major over it, but it's just going to have this like, it wants to breach through, the other side of reach the light, but it's not quite there yet. That's cool. You kind of, get that D over C sharp type sound, but there's a little more color because of that tritone at the bottom. And, all right, and then over D. This is a great one too. You got 1, 4, 5, 1 again, and 3. So this is like a D major, add 4, right? The 3 and the 4 are there. Some old school cats would call this like a D11, but there's also no 7, so we don't really know what's happening there. So yeah, I would say D major, add 4, or you could say D sus, add 3. However, which way you want to go. Playing with the 3 and 4 is great. Having both. I could make it dominant technically. So D is D mixolydian. Like a true mixolydian sound. That's not bad. Both are cool. Okay, next one. Now we've reached the true apotheosis of this chord. The most self-actualized version, the most brutal one in my opinion. E flat. We have a major 3rd, sharp 11, major 7, flat 3. Or I'm going to call it sharp 9, and here's why. So we can't have both 3s. We can't say major 3 and minor 3. So the way to reconcile that is major 3rd, sharp 9. So it's a major 7, sharp 11, sharp 9. Which, and really all you need to think about the sound is D over E flat. D triad over E flat, which is actually a very common sound. We call it tonic diminished. So this could be a diminished voicing. So I could think D half whole diminished. I can also think G harmonic minor, because that also fits that scale. Could also think G harmonic major, because that one note difference, B flat versus B in harmonic major, B flat in G melodic minor, wouldn't conflict technically with this chord, but we'll see. So let's try the diminished. Let's do D half whole diminished. Yeah, I'm gonna make it. Now, for those who are keeping up, the G is not technically part of that scale. So the G in this voicing would not technically fit D half whole diminished. We can probably live with that though, because this sound, the D triad over E flat, that's really taking control aurally of what's happening. Okay, cool. That definitely works. Now I'm going to do G harmonic minor. I like this a lot. Because it has an E flat major triad and a D major. So I could just think those two triads. G harmonic major. I don't like the B as much. I don't know. It's okay. But still viable for sure. I like the G harmonic minor, probably the best over that. It's such a brutal sound. Classic. This is the over E. And most commonly, people are going to put the B underneath it on the A string. But regardless, so that's fine. But technically, the voicing is. This gives us 1 E minor 3 G 4 A D flat 7. F sharp is the 9. So E minor 9. And that's going to work in the key of D major or potentially G major. So we'll see which works. Here's D major. Here's G major. I don't like that. Again, the notes fit in G major, but it just doesn't feel right to me. So that's kind of what I'm going off of. Yes, you could fit square peg and round hole all day long, but do what suits your ears. Last one. No, 2 more. Jesus. F. I actually don't know if I can play that. So this one has a lot of color. 9, 3, 13, flat 9. So 9 and flat 9. 3 and 13. That's tough. There isn't. I could reconcile that with a couple options, but I'm going to move past it just because it's not one I'm going to readily go to. But I might think of that more as a F13 flat 9 and then deal with that. Okay, last one. F sharp. This one's killing. Got 1, flat 9, flat 3, flat 6, 1. Flat 9, minor 3. So flat 9 and minor 3, that automatically tells me 2 things. It could be Phrygian, kind of that sus flat 9 sound. That's going to come from D major. Again, D major. You see all the D major parallels. Or I could think of it as that flat 9 and sharp 9. The A is a sharp 9. Then I have sharp 5 and 1. So there's no third or 7, but I could treat this as an F sharp 7. So now I'm going to think F sharp altered, which is G melodic minor scale. Oh, another one we've seen all the time. So here we go. I'll do D major, then G melodic minor. It's D major. Then I'm going to do G melodic minor. This is now like an F sharp 7 chord. Sorry. That's super nice. I like that one a lot. And boom, we're back to G. Holy crap. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different ways to think about this harmonically. 10 different approaches to this one voicing. And hell, that's just one iteration of that voicing. Those 4 notes, well, I could put them through their paces with different inversions and different, I could do drop voicings with these. Some of them are going to be too hard on the guitar, but you can really find some amazing colors. And wow, I can't believe it. I didn't necessarily say that it's a D minor triad over a G, right? So that's one way to think about it and find the different voicings. Yeah, that one's hard. Sorry. Really, really nice stuff. Also, there's another version. Also, a couple nice ones. Again, these. That's tough. Or this. Super pretty colors there. When you do different inversions and stuff with these 4 notes, wow, it goes so deep. This is the rabbit hole that I like to take a voicing, because now instead of 10 different ways to play those 10 different sounds, most of which are coming from 2 different keys, right? We had G major, G, some sort of G minor, and D major. That was like most of the sounds, but different ways to, highlight the kaleidoscope of those sounds. So instead of having 10 different chords or different voicings, I have the one voicing that I'm going to leverage depending on what the underlying harmony is. So I know this is a long one, but I encourage you to play with all these sounds and experiment, find which ones you like, and then that becomes part of your bag. So now when you get to some sort of an F sharp 7 chord, you could play that voicing and it'll be really colorful. Or when you have a G major 7, that's a perfect voicing. Or when you have an E minor 9, boom, perfect voicing. There you go. So what I'll do now, just to make this even longer, is I made like a loop of me cycling through all the different bass notes, and I think I went from G and I walked up. So I'm just gonna play over it, and I'm just gonna change my approach, and I might kind of forget which one's which, so you'll hear me hunting for sounds, and it's all good. It's part of the whole thing. All right. It starts on a D root. Okay. Going down to C sharp. Okay. man, oh god, I want to keep playing over it. Crap. Woo! Gosh, that's really, really fun. Oh my gosh. Wow. And it's just so cool to hear how each time it doesn't get old to me. You know, I've been talking for 40 minutes or whatever the hell, and it just doesn't get old. And it's obviously not the first time I've done this either, so I could just live in that sound forever. Really appreciate you hanging out, and I hope you got something out of this. Happy hunting with your sounds.